For centuries, bacon and lard were important foods for Russians, the Polish, and the Anglo-Saxons, while the people of Ukraine are especially associated with lard in public opinion. Bacon was eaten with bread, used as alcohol snack. It was fried and stewed. To see lard or bacon in a dream was considered a good omen. In general, these products were popular everywhere except for maybe hot Eastern countries, and this is only because these products get spoiled very quickly. However, nowadays, in the era of fitness and body shaping, all fats, and especially animal fats, are kind of forbidden by society. Lard has disappeared from our tables, and there are many myths about this food. Welcome to Big Progress, and now we are going to take a look at popular delusions about lard and bacon. The 5 most well-known myths about lard and bacon. Lard makes you fat. Lard is a quite high-calorie food. It contains about 770 kilocalories per 100 grams. But in fact, it doesn't make you fat. What makes you fat is eating too much of it. You can get fat even eating nothing but oatmeals, the best food in the world, if you eat bagfuls of it. If you have a sedentary lifestyle, then your norm is 10 to 30 grams of lard a day, and if you have excess body weight and so follow a low-calorie diet, don't eat more than 10 grams a day. Speaking about bacon, it's much better if it's made at home, not manufactured. At meat processing plants, pork is usually smoked with the use of special liquid, and that's not very nice, as it kills many beneficial properties of the food. Lard is just fat, and that's great. That's great because of its composition, subcutaneous fat containing cells and biologically active substances. For example, the most valuable fatty acid is polyunsaturated arachidonic acid. It's very rare and it's not contained in vegetable oils, but you won't be able to live without it. Arachidonic acid is a component of all cell membranes, and the heart muscle just won't work without it. Besides, it takes part in hormone formation, immune responses, and cholesterol exchange. There are also other essential fatty acids which are called vitamin F, linoleic, linolenic, palmitic, and oleic acids. And don't forget about the fat-soluble vitamin A. Lard contains 1.5 milligrams of it per 100 grams, vitamins D, E, and carotene. As a result, the biological activity of lard is 5 times higher than that of butter. So in winter, this pork product is just what you need to maintain vigor and immunity. This terrible cholesterol. Yes, it's present in lard, but even common butter contains more, and there's nothing wrong about it. Do you really think it will immediately begin to attach to the walls of the arteries, and so atherosclerosis will start? That's not true. Doctors understood long ago that the amount of cholesterol in the blood and tissues does not really depend on how much fats you eat. Moreover, the substance is formed in the body, even if you don't eat it at all. What really matters is cholesterol metabolism, what elements the body will get, what it will produce, and how these substances will be used. By the way, arachidonic, linoleic, and linolenic fatty acids cleanse the blood vessels from deposits, so a small lard snack with vitamin F will even contribute to the prevention of atherosclerosis, and the cholesterol will take part in the formation of immune cells, lymphocytes, and macrophages, for example, that will later save the body from viruses and other pathogens. Cholesterol even affects the intelligence. 2% of our brain is made up of it. Good fat. 30% of the calories you get every day should come from fats. It doesn't mean that your diet has to be 30% fats. 60 to 80 grams per day will be enough. 1/3 of them should be vegetable fats, 10% of polyunsaturated, 30% of saturated, and 60% of monounsaturated fatty acids. And guess where you can find exactly this fat ratio? Right, it's lard, along with peanut butter and olive oil. Bacon, salt-cured pork. They say the best fat is natural fat, and bacon perfectly meets this requirement of modern dietetics. If the bacon is soft, oily, and loose, it means that the pig was overfed with corn. If the bacon is too tough, the pig was kept hungry for a long time. The most delicious and dense bacon comes from the animals fed with acorns, which is what pigs normally eat in the wild nature. Pork lard in folk medicine. These days, many nutritionists recommend giving up lard. They claim that due to its high fat content, it contributes to the development of atherosclerosis. However, discussions about fats are not that simple. The body just will not work without them. To decide which fats you should prefer, you need to know some of their properties. First of all, the content of unsaturated fatty acids. Pork lard contains arachidonic acid, which is unsaturated fat. It's one of the essential fatty acids. The acid is a part of cell membranes material. It's contained in the heart muscle enzymes, and it also participates in another important process, cholesterol metabolism. Moreover, lard contains other valuable essential fatty acids, and in terms of their content, which is about 10%, lard is ahead of butter. That is why the biological effect of lard is 5 times higher than that of butter and beef fat. Lard is widely used in traditional medicine. As a remedy for external application, it's often more effective than various proprietary ointments. In case of joint pain, apply warmed-up liquid lard to the joint. Cover the area with compress paper, wrap in a woolen scarf, and leave overnight. Instead of lard, you can use old bacon. Just mince it and add some bee honey. If the joint's mobility is impaired after injury, mix 100 grams of lard with a tablespoon of table salt and apply it to the joint area. Then put on a warming bandage. In case of toothache, clean the salt from a small slice of bacon and apply the slice to the tooth by putting it between the gum and the cheek for 15 to 20 minutes. The toothache will gradually subside. The benefits of lard. Even in scientific literature, there are different points regarding the benefits and harms of lard. Here's what we think about this product based on the analysis of its nutritional and biological value. Lard contains great amounts of different fatty acids, even more than butter. That's why it's so good for general healing and filling the body with energy. After a short heat treatment, the nutritional value of lard increases significantly due to an increase of arachidonic, oleic, and stearic fatty acids amounts. That is why various foods are recommended to be fried in lard. And you may ask, what about atherosclerosis? That's true, saturated fats, which are also present in lard, do contribute to the development of the disease, but there are 1.5 times less of them in lard than in common butter. Nowadays, you may even find diets based on lard and bacon. They say that if you eat a couple of pieces of bacon on an empty stomach, you can reduce your appetite significantly. This will prevent you from overeating, and so it will be easier to stay in good shape. Harms of lard and bacon. We have already told you about the benefits of lard, but many people are convinced of its harms to our bodies. What are they? Excessive eating of lard is a direct path to obesity and atherosclerosis due to a high cholesterol content. The use of lard in a diet should be limited for those who have problems with blood vessels, heart, and digestion. Sometimes the best option is to give it up. Bacon should never be fried too hard to prevent the formation of carcinogens. And make sure to choose good bacon. The pigs must be grown in the areas with good environmental conditions. Is smoked bacon harmful? Yes, of course. This is due to the content of a huge amount of carcinogens, and this is true in case of both natural smoking and the use of so-called liquid smoke. We should not forget about the high calorie content of the products, 797 kilocalories per 100 grams. Actually, this is the average daily norm for an adult person. Also, lard is not rich in composition, so it cannot really be called healthy food. Moreover, if eaten too much, it may be very harmful, provoking the development of not only obesity but many other diseases. Eating too much lard and bacon is bad even for a healthy person, especially on a regular basis. And if you have some chronic diseases, it's better to consult a doctor about these products. How to choose lard? To choose the right lard, it's best to go to the market or farm store. First of all, pay attention to the color. It should be white or pinkish. If you're choosing bacon, pay attention to the skin. It should be thin, smooth, and have no bristles. It's best if it has a veterinarian's mark. The smell of fresh lard is delicate, sweetish, and milk-like. The presence of a specific reek indicates that the lard came from a boar. No spices can remove the smell, so it's better not to buy this kind of lard. Pierce the lard with a knife, fork, or match. If it's pierced easily or with little resistance, the product deserves your approval. After purchasing bacon, rinse it with water, dry it well with a towel, and start cooking. Salt curing bacon. Salt, garlic, bay leaves, caraway seeds, dill, and even onion peels and sugar may be used in curing bacon. Don't be afraid to put too much salt. The main advantage of pork is that it absorbs as much salt as it needs. How to make bacon? There are 3 methods of making bacon at home. Method 1. Just rub the pork with salt and add garlic and pepper. It will give the meat a spicy taste and aroma. This is the so-called dry method, and it's quite easy and fast. It's for people who don't like to spend a lot of time in the kitchen. But remember that you can store this kind of bacon just for a month. Method 2. Putting the pork in the brine. This process is more complicated. First you make the brine, then soak the pork in it, and then add spices. The bacon will be very delicate and you'll be able to store it for about a year. Method 3. This method reduces the risk of parasites. This kind of bacon may be stored up to 6 months. And if you boil it with onion peels, it will taste like smoked. By the way, whichever method you choose, the bacon should be stored in the freezer. How to make bacon with garlic. Ingredients for bacon with garlic: 1 kilogram of pork belly, 200 grams of salt, 20 grams of ground black pepper, half a head of garlic. Recipe: cut the pork into 4 to 5 centimeter strips. Cross-cut each piece to the middle. Take a deep dish and put all the salt in there. Then put the pork in there and thoroughly cover it with salt on all sides. Sprinkle it with pepper. You can use both red and black if you want. Peel and cut the garlic into 1 to 2 millimeter slices and place them in the cuts in the pieces of pork. Put the pork in a container and leave it in the fridge for 3 to 4 days. After that, the bacon is ready. It will go well with rye bread. Later, you can wash away the excess salt, wrap the bacon in fabric, put it in a plastic bag, and store it in the freezer. Bacon in brine. Ingredients: 2 kilograms of pork belly, 5 glasses of water, 200 grams of salt, 1 head of garlic, 4 bay leaves. Spices to taste. Recipe: wash the pork belly, dry it, and cut into pieces so that it can easily pass through the neck of the jar. The optimal thickness is 5 centimeters. Make the brine. Pour 5 glasses of water into a pan, put it on the stove and boil, then cool the water. Cut the garlic and add it to the pork. Wash and dry the bay leaves. Put the pork in the jar. Don't fill it too tightly, as the bacon may rot. Put black pepper and bay leaves between the pieces of pork. Pour the brine into the jar. Make sure all the pork is soaked. Cover it with a lid, but not very tightly, as the bacon needs to breathe. Keep it at room temperature for 3 days, then close the lid tightly and put the jar in the fridge for 3 to 5 days, or for up to 3 weeks in case you're very afraid of parasites. After that, take the pork out of the jar. Dry it with paper towels and sprinkle with spices. You can use ground red pepper, cumin, and paprika. Then wrap the pork in paper and put it in the freezer. The bacon will be ready in a day. What lard and bacon should never be bought? A yellowish color is always a sign of old, rancid bacon. It contains no vitamin F and accumulates carcinogens over time. Smoked bacon from the store, which often contains flavor enhancers. Deeply over-fried bacon. Long heat treatment leads to accumulation of toxins in bacon, while slightly fried soft bacon is easily digested without causing any damage to the body. So the conclusion is simple: fresh lard and bacon are excellent products that are very good for the body when consumed in reasonable amounts. That's all we wanted to tell you today. Subscribe to our channel, click the like button, and make sure to send the video to your friends. See you in the next episodes.